Hi, I'm Jake. I make RPG supplements and videos about Pathfinder 2, or PF2. I love PF2, and War of Immortals is friggin' amazing. I want to jump right into the Exemplar and Animist, but I haven't read them thoroughly enough yet. I don't want to do a video that's going to do them justice. So the first thing is the Nephilim. Obviously, that's why you clicked on this. And then after this, I'll be doing the Bloodrager, Seneschal, and Vindicator, and go on from there. Hopefully by then, I'll have the Animist and or Exemplar prepared enough to do a full video on each of them. Yes, hello. As always, I'm going to read the lore intro. But some people don't like that. Skip to this time. In this case, I think it matters for a lot of people because they've removed some feats that you might be able to add in with flavor, and the lore will inform the flavor choices. So, I'm going to read it. Nephilim. Nephilim, otherwise known as planar scions, are those mortals who have been affected by the supernatural essence of the outer planes. Usually, this occurs after the individual's ancestors have intimate dealings with immortal beings in the past, and they are often born with obvious physical signs of their heritage: skin of an unusual color for their mortal ancestry, striking eyes of glowing gold or burning fire, atypical animalistic features, such as a tail or hooves or a tendency to eat grass, and so on. However, this isn't the only way someone might become infused with the energy of another plane. I've actually had wheatgrass, it's not that bad. An individual who is, in every respect, a standard example of their ancestry and whose forebears had no dealings with angels, devils, or other extraplanar entities might become a Nephilim after encountering an unstable piece of planar debris, powerful planar magic, or a creature from the outer planes traveling through the universe, or in my games, because I'm random. Such a person comes away from that incident forever changed. They might be changed physically, perhaps growing horns or patches of fur, or they might manifest subtle magical abilities. In either case, these individuals often take up a life of adventure to test out their new powers or to seek answers as to why they were chosen to receive what they believe is a gift or a curse. Not just GM whimsy. In addition to the angelic and devilish lineages presented in player core, the Nephilim versatile heritage can represent influences from other planes. Aphorites are related to the order-loving beings of Axis. They often have metallic complexions or skin infused with shimmering crystalline motes. I'm not going to pronounce this well. Kiosas have been affected by the mythical Valkyries, and the Einherjar spirits raised by the so-called Angels of Battle. Such Nephilim tend to have commanding voices or crackle with visible electricity. Those whose bloodline has been touched by Asura's fiend... Dude, can you move? I love you too. Yes, hello. Those whose bloodline has been touched by Asuras, fiends who are physical manifestations of divine accidents, are cambions, sometimes referred to as false spawn. So many words. They possess vestigial signs of another body, such as a second set of shoulder blades without usable arms. Ew! A set of mostly closed eyes where no eyes belong. That's cool. Or strange scarring reminiscent of a mouth. Maybe on their neck or in their ears. Doesn't say that part. Gonzis, considered the children of chaos, are filled with the raw potential of the maelstrom. This rarely manifests with any subtlety, as many Gonzis possess serpentine tails with colorful scales, bright plumes of feathers, or swirling patches of multicolored skin. I would love to be just a pink furry and pink feathered Gonzi embodiment of chaos. That would be fun. Nephilim Uncommon Heritage. Your nature is influenced by celestials, fiends, monitors, or other extraplanar beings. This manifests as a combination of features that belie your heritage, such as golden eyes, a halo, horns, or a tail. You gain the Nephilim trait in addition to the traits from your ancestry. You gain low light vision, or you gain dark vision if your ancestry already has low light vision. You can choose from Nephilim feats and feats from your ancestry whenever you gain an ancestry feat. Nephilim feats. The following feats are available to Nephilim characters. Lineages. Now, before I get into these, because each of these Nephilim previously was a separate ancestry, like, the people from Axis are now called Aeon-bound, and they were Aphorites. The lineage gives you what the Aphorite would have had, but instead of taking the Aphorite, you're taking Nephilim, so it costs you a feat to get into Aphorite. I suggest, as a GM, giving these players an extra first level feat specifically for lineage, because it just feels like taking something away. Like you're making them pay more to be what they already were. That just feels like capitalism. It doesn't feel fair. So, lineages. Nephilim can select any of the following lineages. Aeon Bound. Level 1 lineage feat, Nephilim trait. Your lineage's influence are directly tied to the supernatural inhabitants of the perfect city of Axis, a realm of pure and absolute order. This energy suffuses your body and helps it maintain coherency, resisting effects that would undermine your function or mar your otherwise orderly form. This would drive me insane. I couldn't be part law. You and your allies can treat your wounds without a healer's toolkit. Once per day, when someone rolls a failure or a critical failure on a check to treat your wounds, you can focus on your internal cohesion to increase the degree of success by 1 step. Obviously, that's awesome and totally useful. Is it worth a feat? If you don't get an extra feat just to take it, I don't think so. But some of the later feats require that you take Aeon Bound for Axis-related feats, which is another reason why I suggest just getting an extra feat, like just counting the lineage feats as free. I love the feel of the Battleblooded. I want to make a character based on this. Make as much of a Valkyrie as I can. I wonder how I can do that. Okay, so Battleblooded, level 1 feat, lineage Nephilim. You descend from those whose lives were touched by legendary Einherjars, who were crafted from the souls of mighty warriors slain in battle and chosen by Valkyries to serve as foot soldiers to many gods. You may even be the distant mortal descendant of an actual Valkyrie, or the Marvel character named Valkyrie, just cuz. You are trained in intimidation. If you were already trained in intimidation from your background or class, for example, you instead become trained in a skill of your choice. You also gain the intimidating glare skill feat. Obviously useful for anybody who's going to have charisma at all. Like casters, martial, doesn't matter. It's useful. Next, level 1 feat, Fault Spawn lineage Nephilim. You bear a grudge inherited from a blasphemous Asura forebear in your bloodline against a particular deity and their works. You gain the Find Fault reaction. I loved this one before, because it's like you're so anally legalistic that you're like, you did not pronounce that N correctly in the elven tongue. It's pronounced nyeh. And so I find fault with your spell. Nope. Find Fault is a reaction, has the Concentrate trait. Trigger, you attempt a saving throw against a spell or magic effect but haven't rolled yet. Effect, you find some kind of fault with the magic, using that flaw to protect yourself from the effect. You gain a +1 circumstance bonus to your saving throw against the triggering effect, which increases to a +2 circumstance bonus if the effect is divine and originates from a worshiper of the deity you chose for your grudge. No matter what, it's +1. It's helpful. A little. Every +1 does matter, but it's very niche. So I'll probably take it for flavor. Like, again, that could just be a free feat because it doesn't do a lot. Protean Kin, level 1 lineage Nephilim feat. Your blood bubbles with the roiling quintessence of a maelstrom. Quintessence is just, hello, pure magical energy. It's a common occult term from our world. Your blood bubbles with the roiling quintessence of the maelstrom, the infinite sea of primal chaos that long ago spawned the other outer planes. You gain resistance to a single damage type equal to half your level. At the beginning of each day, determine randomly whether this resistance applies to acid, electricity, or sonic damage. You also gain a +1 circumstance bonus to saving throws against effects that would cause you to gain the controlled condition. That +1 is super important when you're going to gain the controlled condition, because when you're controlled, it sucks for everyone else. And you probably feel guilty that you didn't just gain a +1 if you could have. I have a minor problem with this, and that is that the resistance only applies to acid, electricity, or sonic. Is that really that random? You're the embodiment of chaos, but it's only these 3 things. Whatever. It's still nice to have a resistance, but, you know, I think that I would like the player to choose. You know what? I think I would like the GM to choose this every morning and not determine randomly. Because then the GM can choose to determine randomly, Or they can be nice and say, I'm going to face a lightning dragon later, or something that does acid damage, and give that to me. Like, fortune smiles upon you. I love the Gonzi's tail. Look at that thing. It's just silly. Now the first level feats that are not lineage feats. Creative Prodigy. Prerequisites Protean Kin. You have a powerful creative drive that is clear to any who interact with you. You are trained in performance. If you are already trained in performance, from your background or class for example, you instead become trained in a skill of your choice. You also gain the impressive performance skill feat, and when you use performance to make an impression, you gain a +1 circumstance bonus to the check. I guess that's useful if you're going to be a performing type person. First level feats that do something that your class could anyway are useful because you start at first level most of the time. Or it saves you on class feats that you would spend later. Plus flavor, I guess. That's always good. Flavor's always nice. Next level 1 feat, Intuitive Crafting. Prerequisites Aeon Bound, so Aphorite. Your affinity with process and order makes you a natural artisan. You are trained in crafting. If you are already trained in crafting, you instead gain the specialty crafting skill feat in a specialty of your choice. If you have both, you instead become trained in a skill of your choice. In addition, when you critically fail to repair an item, you get a failure instead. That's a little bit useful. Like after a fight, when you're resting for the night, repairing armor, critically failing to repair the armor sucks. So, it is handy for that reason. Irrepressible. Level 1 feat, Nephilim, your slightly otherworldly nature allows you to easily brush off emotional manipulation. When you roll a success on a save against an emotion effect, you get a critical success instead. That is always good. And it will always be good. Next level 1 feat, Sublime Mobility. Your heritage has granted you either impressive athletic skill or a physical feature that aids in traversal. You gain either a climb speed or a swim speed of 10 feet. That's awesome. That's so awesome. 5th level, Amorphous Aspect. Prerequisites, Protean Kin. Kanzi. Your body is supremely flexible. You gain a +1 circumstance bonus on checks to escape or squeeze, and when you critically fail while squeezing, you get a failure instead. The squeeze isn't that amazing. It doesn't come up that often. Bonuses to escape matter a lot. So that's cool. I would also say that you can like rearrange your bones and organs just as flavor, or to gross people out, or whatever, or to brag. Next feat, level 5, Bestial Brutality. Prerequisites, Bestial Manifestation. From Player Core. Your animalistic unarmed attack grows more dangerous. The unarmed attack you chose for Bestial Manifestation gains the Deadly D6 trait. Whenever you score a critical hit with this unarmed attack, you get the Brawling critical specialization effect. Great, level 5, it makes perfect sense. I like that it gets the Deadly D6 trait, that's cool. Next feat, level 5, Call to Battle. It's a reaction. Prerequisites, Battleblooded. Go figure. Trigger, you lose the unconscious condition. So you wake up. You channel the undying spirit of the Einherjar to join to fight. I think they mean to join the fight. You stand. This movement doesn't trigger reactions. It's just one action fewer that you have to spend, and it doesn't trigger reactions, and that's a big deal. Because it sucks being prone and having to decide whether to stay prone and do stuff or stand up and get hit. Great solution. Next feat, level 5, Extraplanar Haze. 2 actions, frequency once per day. Your body emits tiny particles of extraplanar matter, such as crystalline motes or smoky vapor, that surround you in a haze. You become concealed, though you can't use this concealment to hide or sneak, as normal for concealment where your position is still obvious. These particles stay within an inch of your skin, move with you, and last for a number of rounds equal to half your level. So it's just harder to hit you. That's a great thing, and I like that you don't have to be Aphorite to take that. Because the crystalline cloud thing used to be that. Next feat, level 5, Resilient Physiology. 1 action, prerequisites Aeon Bound. Frequency once per day. Requirements, you're afflicted by a disease or poison or are taking persistent damage. Your ordered physiology rejects unwelcome elements, allowing you to reject the negative effects of poison and diseases or shrug off other lasting negative effects. Choose one. Disease or poison. Attempt a saving throw against the affliction. On a failure or critical failure, the affliction stage doesn't increase. Great. So you can just try to get over disease faster. Diseases are something that's really hard to get over quick. Unless, I guess, you're a chirurgeon alchemist. Because you can take feats that allow you to give people a check sooner. I guess other alchemists could do that too. For persistent damage under Resilient Physiology, attempt a DC 10 flat check to recover from the persistent damage. It might be only once per day, but some diseases don't wait a day to affect you and suck horribly right away. This is a really great feat. I know, you have to be an Aphorite, Aeon Bound, whatever. It's still great. Next feat, level 5, Towering Presence. 1 action, concentrate, Nephilim, polymorph. Prerequisites, Fault Spawn. Frequency once per hour. You tap into your planar heritage and momentarily grow larger through force of will. Increase your size to large until the beginning of your next turn. Your equipment grows with you, but returns to its original size if removed. You become clumsy 1. Your reach increases by 5 feet or by 10 feet if you started out tiny. Which I love that idea. You're a little sprite and you're suddenly a dinosaur. And you gain a +2 status bonus to melee damage. Towering Presence has no effect if you were already large or larger. That's totally fun and will always be fun. And yes, of course it's useful. It increases your reach, if nothing else. You could have just taken that action to move, sure. But you also increase the damage you do. And you can, like, lift things easier, carry things easier, maybe? Not lift, carry. Okay, so it's pretty much only useful to gain reach for 1 round and do a little bit of extra damage. But it's super useful with a reach weapon, because then your reach increases to 15 feet if you're already medium size. For reactive strike, that can be really cool. Or if you get multiple reactions like the Guardian. I know it hasn't come out yet. I don't care. It's awesome. 9th level feats. Anarchic Arcana. Prerequisites, Protean Kin. The magic in your blood is unpredictable. When you make your daily preparations, roll 1d12 twice and consult the following list. I'll read the list in a sec. You can cast each of those 2 spells once during the following day, or 1 spell twice if you rolled the same number as 2nd rank divine innate spells. The power of that is perfectly in line with a 9th level ancestry feat. So the options are Acid Grip, Blur, Gecko Grip, which is so cool, Humanoid Form, always useful, Illusory Object, totally flexible, Laughing Fit, Noise Blast, Resist Energy, See the Unseen, Shatter, Shrink, Telekinetic Maneuver. These are really fun, useful things. Yeah. Less useful if you are a martial character, but then of course you wouldn't be taking it. Let's see what else you would take. Next feat, level 9, Extraplanar Cloud. Prerequisites, Extraplanar Haze. Next feat, level 9, Extraplanar Cloud. Prerequisites, Extraplanar Haze. When you use Extraplanar Haze, you can spend 1 additional action to disperse the particles as a 10-foot radius cloud centered on you instead of as a haze. The activity gains the Concentrate trait. All creatures within the cloud become concealed, and all creatures outside the cloud become concealed to creatures within it. Obviously, just a straight upgrade tactically. It's also not always going to be useful, but it's a nice option to have if you're not a caster. Dude, you are laying on a lumpy ring. Are you okay? Next feat, level 9, Glory and Valor. 1 action. Auditory, Divine, Healing, Nephilim traits, prerequisites, Battleblooded, frequency once per day. You call upon your Ascendant Blood with a mighty cry that fills you with a revitalizing energy for 1 minute or until you critically fail a strike, whichever comes first. For the duration, the first time each round you successfully strike a creature of your level or higher, you regain hit points equal to half your level. Obviously freaking awesome. That's cool. I like that a lot. Next feat, level 9, Larcenous Tail. Nephilim prerequisite, Skillful Tail from Player Core. You can perform minor mischief with your tail. You can use your tail to steal an object, though your tail still can't hold onto it at the end of your action. If you have a hand free, you can transfer the stolen object to your hand. Otherwise, your tail surreptitiously drops it on the ground in your space, where you can grab it later. Observers other than your target who haven't witnessed you stealing something with your tail are usually distracted, meaning the GM will usually decrease their perception DCs as normal for stealing something. That's just awesome. Next feat, level 9, Methodical Magic. Nephilim prerequisites, Aeon Bound. You can reorder the world with your magic. Choose 2 of the following spells: Calm, Dispel Magic, Lock, Mending, Shape Wood, or Translate. You can use each of the chosen spells once per day as second-rank Divine Innate spells. I love that. That is so flexible. I would probably always take Translate, because it's sometimes critical, and, well, who prepares the Translate spell ahead of time? Nobody. I would probably say that you could use each one once or one of them twice as if it were spontaneous casting, because, like, if you take Dispel Magic and Translate and you never have the opportunity to Dispel Magic or Translate, then it just sucks. Next feat, level 13, Alter Resistance. As a reaction, Nephilim prerequisites, Protean Kin. Frequency once per hour. Trigger, you take acid, electricity, or sonic damage. You focus on your Protean forebears to change your energy resistance. The energy resistance you gain from your Protean Kin lineage changes to match the triggering damage. This change occurs after the damage is dealt and lasts until the next day or the next time you use this ability. Perfect. Great. Although at 13th level, you probably have other options for avoiding acid, electricity, or sonic damage. I think you should increase to your full level instead of half your level. Next level 13 feat, Catbutt. Arise, ye worthy. Nephilim prerequisites, Battleblooded. A touch of Valkyrie magic in your blood lets you hold back death's grasp. You can cast Breath of Life as a divine innate spell once per day. I know, it already existed. It's just brought forward in this too. But it's really cool! I love that feat! Next level 13 feat. Impose Order. Because you're anal. Reaction. Fortune and Nephilim traits. Prerequisites, Aeon Bound. Obviously, Aphorite. Frequency once per day. Next feat, level 13, Impose Order. Reaction. It has the Fortune and Nephilim traits. Prerequisites, Aeon Bound. Frequency once per day. Trigger, you would critically fail a skill check or suffer an effect with a Misfortune trait. You shift the underlying fabric of reality to impose a baseline of order. If the trigger was a skill check, you instead receive a result of 10 plus your proficiency bonus. Don't apply any other bonuses, penalties, or modifiers. If the trigger was an effect with the Misfortune trait, the Misfortune and Fortune effects cancel each other out as normal, negating the triggering Misfortune effect. That's actually quite useful by itself. Just negate a Misfortune effect. I think that one actually existed too. I know a lot of these did. Next feat, level 17, Channel the God Mind. 2 actions. Nephilim prerequisites, Aeon Bound, frequency once per day. You tap into the collective consciousness of the God Mind, the governing entity of Axiomite society, to rapidly parse near infinite variables to read your surroundings. For 1 minute, you gain precise motion sense out to 60 feet. You can see invisible creatures and objects, and you gain the benefits of True Sight, with a counteract check modifier equal to your perception modifier. I know it's been said before, but I love this feat. It's amazing. It's always useful. It's only a shame that you have to wait so long to get it. Next feat, level 17, Pandemonium Eruption. 2 actions. Nephilim trait, prerequisites, Protean Kin, frequency once per day. You unleash the pent-up chaos within you, becoming a nexus of unbridled destruction that wreaks unfettered havoc on everyone in your vicinity. Each creature within 15 feet of you takes 14d6 acid, electricity, or sonic damage. Choose randomly for each target. You're just like, chaos. Each target receives a basic reflex save against the higher of your class DC or spell DC, but any creature that is subjected to the type of damage for which you currently have resistance through your Protean kin lineage takes a -2 penalty to the save. I love that this is all random. Any target that critically fails the save is also confused until the end of their next turn. This is great. But having to choose between those two is so crappy. Well, obviously, if you have a plan for your character from the beginning, you're going to know which one to choose. But for the level 17 feats, and that's all of them, just 2, you have to be either Aeon Bound or Protean kin. Fault Spawn and Battleblooded don't get an option. That's shit. That is horrible shit. Okay, so obviously we knew they were going to remaster the Nephilim further. I am glad that they are finished, because this has been a little aggravating. Because I like more options. More options is more better. And I don't like options being missing. I do like that all of it is under the header of Nephilim, so that it's really flexible. And it makes sense, because pre-master, there were a lot of duplicated options among the different planar blooded scions, however you want to call it. So I'm glad we got the Nephilim. I used to think it was called Nephilim, because Nephile made sense to me. But I think the common way is Nephilim. So it's not crap. I like it. I would still give people a free bloodline feat. A lineage feat. Just so that it doesn't feel like they're losing something from prior to the remaster. Because it's basically the same thing. I mean, they could have chosen just Aphorite, had the same abilities, and they wouldn't have to spend an extra feat to become an Aphorite after choosing Aphorite. Yeah. Thank you for joining me today for the first installment of War of Immortals rundown. There are so many things. I was worried that when I got this book, I was not going to want to cover much of it because I didn't care about mythic rules. I'm wrong. The mythic rules are interesting and useful, and they wrapped things into a mythic system that don't necessarily need to be in it. There are mythic rituals. Yes! The mythic rituals, I think, are appropriately leveled anyway, that they probably don't need to be mythic in every case. Like, create Demiplane. 8th rank, mythic ritual. You just make a freaking Demiplane with your friends. It's 8th rank, so you have to be 15th level already. At that point, a group of adventurers wants to have a home base anyway that's really cool. So just let them do it. It doesn't matter if you're playing mythic or not. It's just a separate little house that's hard to attack. But it's fancy. They can do all the weird crap they want to it. And I'll go over all the rules for the Demiplane too, because I love that spell, the ritual. And there are also mythic spells and mythic equipment, not just mythic rituals. And mythic destinies and immortality. And there's a lot of stuff to talk about. I want to do at least 21 videos. That's going to take a while. So thank you for being patient with me. I've also been a bit under the weather. I don't know why. We both have. We don't go anywhere or see anybody, so who knows? Also, this month for Halloween, we're giving away a set of dice that look blood spattered. Like, I don't know, they're Dexter dice. I'm surprised they're so fancy and random. They're pretty. These are uninked so far. They will be inked, of course. But for now, I'm just showing them to you. We're going to do a drawing for one of these for patrons, and we're going to do a drawing for 3, basically, different drawings for Blood Spattered Dice for just YouTube subscribers. It's going to be in a video that's coming out soon. You're just going to make a comment in it, of any kind, and you'll be part of the giveaway. So it'll be a set of 9 dice, a 45mm D20, or a set of 6 D6, all blood spatter. So keep an eye out for that. If you're a patron, thank you for being present and helping take care of this channel. I wouldn't be here without you guys. And for anybody who is interested in previous books that I've covered, the playlist for War of Immortals will be showing up here, but also the previous playlist for Tian Sha will show up here. I think there's 25 videos in it. Anyway, thank you. Okay, love you. Bye-bye.